The state of the U.S. economy has a lot of people worried right now, whether it's job security or investing worries with what the stock market's been doing in the past couple of weeks, or saving for your child's future. There's a lot to be concerned about, and hopefully we've got you covered on those fronts this afternoon. Money and business expert Derek Kinney is with us live to answer some questions from the viewer inbox. And boy, have those messages been coming in, Derek. A lot to be thinking about right now.
A lot of worries and concerns. So let's get right to it, Jason. Good to see you.
Let's do first question here from Miguel in Fort Worth. He says he's a mid-level manager and his company is slowing down. He is worried about losing his job, as so many people have. What should he do now to protect himself while he still has his job?
Miguel, it's time to think differently, and that is no longer think of yourself as a mid-level manager. Instead, identify what problem are you uniquely qualified to solve in your company. You are a paid problem solver going forward. And the key with that is then to think about what are the problems you're solving, how are you helping the company make money, save money, and be more productive. Take that to your boss. Even though we're seeing people losing their jobs right now, people who think like an entrepreneur inside of their company are likely going to get more than the typical 4% raise, and they're going to keep their job.
Okay, good advice there. Let's get to Heather in Arlington now this afternoon. Derek, she's writing in, these tariffs make me nervous. If a full-scale trade war happens, what does that mean for my investments and retirement savings? We've really been seeing some answers on that in the past several days in the stock market, Derek. But what do you say to Heather when she's worrying about that?
Well, there's an investment four-letter word, and it spells PAIN, which is pain, and that's what people are in right now. They're seeing their retirement accounts, their bank accounts, investment accounts, all losing huge value, and it's because of the worry of tariffs and what that means. Typically, it's a way to provide some trade balance between major countries, but the issue now is, will this tip the country into a recession? Here's what I would tell you. If you're having trouble sleeping at night, you're nervous, anxious, worried, take money out of the market, but then gradually ease it back in every single month. That way you're not always on the sidelines, because if, for example, the president were to say, look, we're going to waive the tariffs, things are getting better, the market's going to skyrocket back up again, you don't want to be left out. So if you're worried, take some risk off the table, but keep adding money back in to make sure when it does bounce back, your money comes back as well.
Yeah, Derek, that's an interesting point, and I think we've talked about this before. Over the long arc of time, all of those people who pulled their money out of stocks right after big crashes missed out over and over and over again on the big upswings that usually follow those big crashes. So thank you for talking us off the ledge on that one. Let's get to the next question from Caleb in Plano. He says his kids are 14 and 16 now. They don't have anything saved for college at this point. What is your best advice on something like that?
First of all, Caleb, you're not alone. Most Americans haven't saved much for their kids' college. Here's what not to do, though, is shock and awe your kids. Wait until they're about to go to college and say, by the way, we have no money. What I would do right now is have an open dialogue with your kids and start talking about what are their goals, what are their dreams, and share with them, look, here's where mom and I are financially, and here's what we can do. For example, with my kids, I did a half and half program. I pay half, they pay half. It influenced then how expensive a college they wanted to go to see if it made sense for them to go there. So open dialogues, open conversations, and you're going to be training your children to be independent, which is really even more than what college can do for most people.
Yeah, and it's funny how that clarifies the conversation, Derek, when you start giving them those buy-in opportunities like you talked about with your own kids. Let's finish here with Laura in Dallas, who says she's a single mom. She's working hard, not saving as much money as she would like to, though. What's the best way, Derek, for her to start making more money so that she can start putting some of that away?
Laura, this is going to sound overly simplistic, and I don't mean to make it that way, but number one, set an income goal for this year. Let's say you're making $50,000 and you want to make $60,000. Now it's a math problem of how can you make up that $1,000 difference. One might be, is a side hustle a possibility for you? Ask yourself, the friends, your family, people who care about you, are there things they ask you to do? Do you plan the trip, organize the closet, do the website, proofread the paper, teach kids how to play soccer better? Are there things that you're doing now that people ask you for that you could charge for? Also go back to what I told the first question asker. what problem are you solving, and identify ways you help the company save money, make money, be more productive. Then you can go back to your boss and say, look, I'm actually helping us make more money. Can you pay me more money as well?
All right, some good advice on a bunch of topics. Always like it when we hit the inbox and see what's really weighing on people's minds, and turns out it's a lot of stuff. Derek, thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you, Jason.